This is the key to hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and this is something that my teacher taught me and many other of his students. And if you want hypnosis to work, if you want it to be really, really deep, if you want it to have that nice therapeutic feeling, and you want the person to get the most from it, then the one thing that you've really got to do is you've got to go in there with them. What do I mean by that? So a lot of the time I do a lot of my hypnosis sessions online via Zoom. And sometimes it can feel like, because we're distantly apart, that we're not connected on some level, but that is so far from the truth, because we're always connected on some level, on a spiritual, energetic level. So when we're going through the process of hypnosis and guiding them into a trance and guiding them into that place, so say if it's a past life regression, then we've really got to go there with them. We've got to experience and feel what they're feeling. We've got to, and sometimes what will happen is, as this is taking place, as you're going through there with them, and maybe you might start seeing things, you might start sensing things, and that is a real clear and good indicator that you are in that biostasis place with them as you're going into the trance with them on some level. Obviously you're not going into trance, but you're just being present with them. You're being you're acknowledging where they are. You're feeling what they're going through, and from that sometimes you get the cues for where they need to go next, what you need to say, and you get the information from that of how you can guide the session deeper or further, or get more information. You get more questions from the cue words that the client is using. So you've really got to go there with them and experience it with them. The other thing that we've got to do as well, I feel, and I'm sure many other people feel this as well, is we've got to let go of the expectation. A lot of the time when people book a hypnotherapy session, they expect that because the last one, say again a past life regression, they expect it to be just like the last one. So it could have been very, very emotional. It could be quite turbulent. It could have been a lot of really exciting stuff that happened. And then they come into the next one, the next regression, and it's not like that at all. It's very, very calm. It's very subtle. It's very quiet. There's little indications about things. It's not as detailed or as deep as the last session. And that's not because anything's wrong. It's not because the practitioner's not doing the hypnotherapy session right, or it's nothing that the client or you are doing anything differently or anything wrong. It's just what you need to hear at that time. So there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes the expectation that you're going to get this or you're going to get that because that's what happened last time is going to happen again. Sometimes that can reduce the effectiveness of your session. So let go of the expectation, let go of the fact that, well, this happened then, but what could happen now? Let's just go with it and just see and just be totally open. And I think with a lot of energy healing modalities, that is really, really important part. It's a really important aspect to remember, that we just need to let go and not have the expectation that I'm going to see this, I'm going to experience that, or Ian did this last time in a distance healing session and I got all this intuitive information, he was so spot on with it, but this time I got absolutely nothing from him. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm disconnected or anything that is happening is wrong. It just means that you didn't need to hear anything that time. It's a bit like, some people are addicted to go to get psychic readings or mediumship readings, and they want to go every week. They want to hear off the loved ones every week. And that is really a very negative way of dealing with not just someone's passing and then moving into spirit, but your attachment to that is not having a positive effect on your life. You need to get past that point. So if you're constantly going for readings, you're not going to get any different information. It's going to be either no information or just the same, because people who have passed over, they still have work to do on their side of life. They've got their healing, they've got their jobs to do on their side of life, as well as you've got your own healing on this side of life. So we can't be constantly going back and forth asking. And it's the same as if we constantly wanted to speak to our like a spirit guide or our higher self. You're only going to get so much information before it just like it all starts sounding the same. So again, don't become expectant that you're going to get everything the same, because if you're going to get everything the same, then where's the healing? If you're going to get the same messages the last, say if you had a hypnosis session 6 months ago, and you've done all of this healing work, then you think, right, I've done all this work, and I had this hypnosis session, there was all this stuff that came up, I've done all of this work, and now we're going to have another hypnosis session. I have no expectations, but you see exactly the same, and you go through the same stuff, not that you ever really will, but you go through the same stuff, then that means that you haven't done the work that you thought you'd done, because you're kind of in the same place. But like I said, you're never going to experience that. You're always going to experience something different. That's just a for instance. So let go of the expectations. Let go of the thing that, sometimes it's the ego that tells us is that, well, this happened last time, so it's going to be even bigger this time. So yeah, just let go of that. And if you want to really experience the depth of a hypnosis session, you've really got to go in there with them as the practitioner. And like I said earlier, the deeper you go with them, when you connect openly to them, and it's a very, very, when I say that, it's a very, very subtle connection. So like this last sort of couple of weeks, I've done quite a few online past life regression sessions, and you can feel that point internally when you go through the trance stage and you're taking them through trance and you're guiding them down, you do the deepening, you take them a little bit further, you get to that nice relaxed place, you go to somewhere that we call the beach of time, and time changes and morphs and bends and then you feel yourself starting to possibly change, and you're moving to that place. As you're going across that beach, and I'm describing the beach as you move through it, then feel that beach with them. Be on that beach with them. Imagine the sand or the beach beneath your bare feet. Imagine the sun that's shining on your skin, keeping you at the perfect temperature, the gentle breeze that may be flowing around you. Be on that beach with them when you're taking them there. That is really going to help to deepen the experience for the client and for the session and for the practitioner who's doing it. Past life regression hypnosis is a really, really wonderful part of a healing modality, and it really gives you so many answers to where you are. It gives you so many answers as to the parallels from that life to this life, the connections between the two. And when you look at the connections between the two lives, when you re-look at the footage or the transcription or whatever the practitioner gives you, I tend to send the video to the client so they can re-watch it and retake in any information that they might miss. But when they come to watch that and they're taking that information in, then what will happen is they will feel it on a deep soul level. And when you're with them on that deep soul level and you're guiding them through and you're taking them through the whole process, you're doing so much healing work in there. So you're working on those emotions and those connections to that life that may be poignant in this life. You're looking at the things that came up in that life. When I discussed them at the end of the session, it's like, okay, so what parallels and what connections have you got to that life now? What do you feel is going on? So there's lots of different things that can arise, that can come up from a session. And then what happens is people actually start to realize maybe a week or two later, actually, yeah, that's been either stopping me or blocking me or holding me back. That's something I really need to work on. So it's not like I think maybe some people think it's a bit of a novelty thing, a past life regression. And it really, really isn't. It's a very, very healing place. You can heal karma, you can heal the emotions attached to that life. You can do a lot of soul healing, energy healing in hypnosis as well. Lots of visualization, sensing, increasing the person's abilities as well, being able to help them see a little bit deeper, or feel a little bit deeper, or sense a little bit more. It all heightens the little abilities and things that we have within us on a psychic level. So it really helps on that level as well. So it really isn't like kind of a novelty thing. It's a very, very powerful healing modality, which I absolutely love. I love doing past life regressions because, like I say, not one session is the same. They're always different, but there's always a connection to where that person is now, to the healing that needs to come from that life to the now. And when you feel called to have a past life regression hypnosis session, then there is a part of your soul, a part of you, maybe your subconscious, maybe your higher self, that is urging you and pushing you to take that step, to move to that journey, to have that session, because there's something you need to learn about yourself, about where you are, and the direction you need to take. If that sounds like something that might interest you, then head down into the descriptions box below. All of my links are there, and you can book a past life regression session with me, and we can do it via Zoom, online. All you need is a headset with a microphone that comes round like a mouthpiece, so I'll be able to hear you clearly, you'll be able to hear me clearly, and then the session will go ahead, and it will be absolutely beautiful, and you will receive everything that you need to receive during that session. So if that's something that feels like it's calling out to you, you need to find something on a little bit deeper level than where you are. If you want to go below surface level, then book that past life regression session today. And let's get the ball rolling. Have a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are. Take care. Much love. Bye for now.